Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the CSL. I'm Joe. I'm joined here today by Tempo, and we're going to be getting into our round of 8 in just a moment here. First round of 8 match. How are you feeling about this one, buddy?
Yo, pretty good, pretty good. We were just looking at the roster here, and we do have our wonderful, wonderful Waterloo team that has been looking pretty strong lately, right? I mean, even the Riddler getting a bit of headlines and some SC Reddit drama, if you will. So he's got a lot of buzz around him right now, and I think he's actually playing second.
Yeah,
so I think
we are actually going to be starting things off here with a match that includes no Terran, because it's going to be a PvP between, in the top left-hand corner, playing for Waterloo. It is the red Protoss player, Yenfu.
But on the other school, not to be forgotten though, in the bottom right-hand corner, it is our blue Protoss player from University of California. I want to say San Diego?
San Diego.
San Diego. It is Dragon God SC.
And we were talking, both of these players, like 5.5, 5.6 KMMR, they've both been in GM. So I think we're like starting to hit the point here in CSL where we have like teams that are just really, really strong. They're kind of at that level of like the semi-pro clans you might see on the NA ladder that fill up a lot of that kind of mid-level of GM and that kind of thing. And that's fun and exciting to see for me.
Yeah.
A lot less stomps coming up in the round of 8, I'm guessing, than we had in the round of 16.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I'm the most excited about too, right? We've had some pretty exciting series though, even though we would have one of the schools maybe have some kind of huge advantage or at least be favored pretty heavily. But we start to get to the round of 8, and just the first match here, very, very evenly matched. It's going to be a mirror match, to even put that on top of that. So I'm pretty excited here. We do go into a match on backwater as well. So the potential of a nice macro game, but, in PvP, you never know. It all depends on how it goes from here, as we already have their openers, which do seem to be very identical. Especially in PvP, it but in most cases, it will start off like this with the 2 gateways.
Yeah, unless you're going to go for something really crazy, something proxied, you're just going to defensively get those 2 gateways at home. And then, like you were saying, you never know if it's going to go to a macro game. I feel like a lot of the times, the way the first poke goes kind of determines the next move, because sometimes you get way more damage done than you were expecting, or you poke in and they're like, whoa, they're being really greedy, and maybe that kicks in the killer instinct. But at the same time, there's that potential to just kind of keep dancing around, fencing with each other, and scaling up to like 3 or 4 bases.
Yeah, and on a map like this, that 3rd base isn't as easily contested, so you can defend it pretty well. And the thing that I do like about PvP nowadays is that it does seem a little bit better than when the Mothership Core was around, at least when I'm watching it. I don't know about playing it, but it always seemed like it's either going to end in the first, like 4 to 5 minutes, or it goes on forever and it gets on to this kind of crazy, super easily defensible bases into, who either messes up some control or just has the better harassment.
Yeah, nice shield
relatively
battery being
tame.
dropped there, blocking the Adepts from getting in and getting their scout off. Dragon God is going to be kind of in a defensive position, the 2 Adepts poking in at the front. Stalker's well positioned to push these back, but he's going to keep sending shades in, get those scouts off, and there's no inkling from Dragon God so far that this Oracle is going to be on the way in a moment.
Yeah, I believe he might have got an Adept in there, at least in the top left.
Yeah,
like he got a tiny bit of a scout there. I don't know if he lost it though. He might have lost the Adept. No, he ends up getting it out. So I think it was actually a probe that was getting poked away. So that's interesting that he was able to actually keep it alive. But here it comes, and it's going to be met by a Phoenix, which is the Adept's ultimate nemesis here.
Well, this Oracle is going to come out. It's actually going to see the hallucinated Phoenix first, and the hallucinated Phoenix does manage to get a glimpse of it here. The Oracle coming across the map. The Phoenix is coming out as quickly as possible with the Chrono. There's actually 2 out now. This is going to be a tough situation to get any damage done, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Whoa, the Phoenix just flew right by it, but it does get caught now. But dang, Joe, 7 kills for an Oracle that got greeted by 2 Phoenixes, and it just missed it.
Well, no. So what happened was the
Oh,
The two Adepts,
the Adepts.
suicided in at the same time. That's what pulled the Phoenixes out of position. So it was
Gotcha.
7 probes for 2 Adepts, 1 Oracle. Yeah, I don't think you're going to feel great about that opening if you're
No.
Yenfu. But, I mean, you're making kind of the best out of a bad situation, right? There's 3 Phoenixes ready to greet you. That Oracle is going to get chased down eventually. It's not if, it's when.
It's when, yeah, exactly. So he gets the best that he could get done with it, but now he knows that it's going to be Phoenix. And the issue with that is if you're going to try to go for Phoenixes yourself, you need to do something in order to catch up, and that is going to be adding another Stargate.
Yeah, he's going to be making these Phoenixes 2 at a time. He's going to really quickly be able to catch up to the level that his opponent's at. Actually, he's going to meet him. I think Dragon God might be a bit surprised here. If he can just stall for time, he's got the 3 out. It's going to have 5 soon. And on his side of the map, that's not a fight Dragon God's going to want to take. He does back off here.
Yeah, he's getting out of there, especially with the shield battery. You can't really do too much here. So Dragon God now has to decide, am I going to try to keep on doing these Phoenix Wars, or do I try to transition? Because off of 1 Stargate, you're not going to keep up with the Phoenixes here of Dragon God if you are Yenfu. So, or the other way, sorry. But yeah, I just don't think it's a feasible thing to try to outproduce off of 1 Stargate.
Yeah, you're not going to catch up. Dragon God is adding on his own 2nd Stargate, so it does look like both players committing to some Phoenix Wars here as Yenfu does arrive. With his own Phoenixes, he's going to be outmatched just because of the production rally advantage here. And he's going to back off. And I just want to say, I love the anime skins on these Phoenixes. That's all I can think about when I see them is just pure anime.
It has to be, yeah. Well, whoa. Well, this is kind of interesting that he goes for the Fleet Beacon, but on the other side, we're going to see a Fleet Beacon as well. So if this were to be Dragon God's answer to having less Phoenixes, he has another Stargate in the natural. How did I miss that? I didn't realize he ended up making another Stargate. So yeah, they're going to be able to keep on doing the Phoenix Wars perfectly fine. I miscalculated that because I totally missed the Stargate in the net. So this is just, cool little Phoenix versus Phoenixes Wars. And they're both going to be going for Anion Pulse Crystal.
Yeah, one interesting thing is Yenfu is getting that +1 air upgrade a little bit quicker than his opponent. And when you've got equal production, you're going to be dealing with roughly equal numbers here. That can make a big difference, just especially with the way Phoenixes fight where they're constantly doing chip damage.
Yeah. And they do 2 attacks as well. So the Anion Pulse Crystals are going to be coming out for both. But that Protoss air weapon number 1, that's it. That's going to make you number 1 in the sky. Top gun if you are trying to do these battles. And this is something that Dragon God is going to overlook for now. And it looks like even for the rest of the game, if he doesn't actually start it soon, there's no way that he'll be able to catch up.
Oh, and actually behind this, Yenfu going into a sub 100 supply carrier tempo.
What? Okay.
He is building the Golden Armada on 2 bases right now. That 3rd base is not even complete yet. And if he gets away with this and he gets like that critical number, it's kind of funky in a situation with so many Phoenixes, but probably 4 to 5 fully saturated carriers. He's going to be very, very difficult to engage, but he's going to have a lot less maneuverability, and he really doesn't want this to get scouted right now.
No, but the Phoenixes, that is one of the things that they can do the best. It's just that you don't want to really commit to an attack, because as soon as you fall behind in that Phoenix count, then you don't get away, right? Phoenixes can shoot while they move. So if you have the less amount, you're going to lose pretty much all of them by the time you get to the other side of the map. So you have to be extra careful when it comes down to these Phoenix battles. And as you can see, Yenfu stacking his Phoenixes while Dragon God was kind of just floating them around, trying to get a few of the probe kills, and he got 2, but I believe he lost 2 Phoenixes as well.
Now, is Yenfu going to be revealing these carriers? If this one gets caught out of position, that'd be a huge snag here for Dragon God. Yenfu does reposition some of these Phoenixes to try to ward him off. I still don't think he's seen a carrier.
He might have caught a glimpse of it, but yeah, I don't know if he realizes what is going on right now. Because he is continuing to make Phoenixes. So the fact that he's not trying to go into anything else, I don't know. I feel like if he lets the 3rd base of Yenfu go up, doesn't get any kind of economic damage done, he's going to get surprised. And, carrier is not really the best birthday present. When someone comes up to your birthday and says, hey, surprise carriers, and it's just like, no.
I think
not like this.
I think we've seen Yenfu do this before too, like sub 100 supply carrier builds. I wonder if this is kind of his shtick, you know, how he likes to play, because he's got 2 in the back now, and with this large Phoenix fleet, as long as they can protect it, that's going to give him a huge advantage in any upcoming fights here. Dragon God's still poking around at the border. I think he should... Nope, not going to see it, and even going to bleed off a Phoenix.
Yeah, this is not good for Dragon God. I don't believe he has caught on yet. He's going to get a mothership, so that's actually cool. I do believe that Yenfu put down a robo, so he is going to be able to get observers out if he needs them. And he is definitely going to need them when that mothership does come out. But just continuing to make Phoenixes his Dragon God and not realizing what's happening is potentially going to be his downfall.
Yeah,
because, I mean, on a map like Backwater, this is such a perfect way to do it. You have like 3 tucked bases and you can chill out, hang over your shield batteries, and really not in that much trouble here.
He's even adding on charge right now. He has no idea what he's doing.
He literally has no idea.
He thinks it's pure Phoenix because those zealots are not going to do much against the carriers. They're realistically... Okay, he knows. Dragon God knows. He has to have seen that carrier. What's his response? Fires up carriers of his own. But you don't want to be starting carriers when you're already behind 4 carriers.
Yeah, and he's doing it off of 2 Stargates. Yenfu added another Stargate, so now Dragon God trying to get any kind of damage that he can get done. But what do you do in this situation? You know, I feel like this is the ultimate unit in this kind of situation. It's not much on the ground that you can make, aside from, say, Archons, but how many Archons do you really need to take on this many carriers?
Yeah, Dragon God is adding on, or he did add on a 3rd Stargate, so he is able to produce 3 carriers at a time. If Yenfu is maybe overly patient, you know, if they both max out, suddenly it doesn't really matter this carrier gap as much because they're going to be maxed out. Carriers are also pretty unwieldy. Yenfu's going to have a tough time getting across the map. So not a great situation for Dragon God. But if he's good with these Phoenixes, if he darts back in and forces his opponent back every time it looks like he's moving across the map, he may be able to buy himself enough time to get up a respectable carrier fleet of his own.
Right. And remember those upgrades we were talking about, those are going to come into play. I would feel a lot better if Dragon God had those upgrades and he was the one going up against an upgraded carrier fleet. Because with the amount of Phoenixes that he has, 23, it makes me kind of wonder just how much damage they're going to be doing to interceptors too, you know? So that's a lot of light damage, plus light damage here. But without upgrades, it makes me just not... I don't have certainty about it, right? Like, I can't say... Yeah, man, this is the amount of Phoenixes, the critical mass of Phoenixes you need to be able to shut down carriers, interceptors before they kill the Phoenixes themselves. Nah, I've never really seen the situation play out this way, so it's definitely going to be something pretty cool to witness.
Yeah, when this +1 finishes, there is going to be a timing that Dragon God will have where he's only 1 upgrade. Oh, actually, with the kiting here, do manage to do a good job of cleaning up on a certain chunk of those interceptors. I don't think Dragon God should be looking to fight here. I really don't like this. I think committing could be super dangerous just because when you retreat, you have to either have the carriers or the Phoenixes cover the retreat, or the Phoenixes of your opponent can just run them down, and this is not enough carriers to try to fend off 20-something Phoenixes that Yen.
No, absolutely not. It's going to be kind of a slow push out to expand rather than a 1-2 attack. Always fighting under the cannons if you can, and it's just a very weird situation because it brings me back to the thought of this amount of Phoenixes with Anion Pulse Crystals being able to actually take out interceptors relatively quickly. So this is a really cool dynamic between this unit interaction because it's one that you definitely do not get to see every day. But let's see just how much damage those interceptors do. And that is crazy that they take out the Phoenixes that fast.
Yeah, I think Dragon God, he's almost looking to play this out like it's Star Wars. He's got his Phoenixes acting like X-Wings out here, and they're just trying to blow up those carrier Death Stars. And it's not working great so far.
Not at all. Like, imagine finally going through all the Star Wars, right? You go in, finally blow up the Death Star, and you're like, we did it, team! And then, like, 6 more come out from behind, like Darth Vader's like...
And they all shoot more little ships out. I guess that'd be the TIE fighters, right?
Basically, yeah. But it's cool. I do like that we are able to see a game like this because it's something that would never have crossed my mind when I'm just like, you know, pondering my daily musings of StarCraft. But
yeah, I like that Dragon God is just taking every base on the map. Right? He knows that the next fight he'll probably be disadvantaged. There's a good chance he won't die, but he'll probably be disadvantaged. And he can say, you know what? You kill one of my bases, I can just recall my probes, have another base up and running right away, be it a bit of an economic advantage. Maybe that's his way back into this game, just taking more
the
of the
secret.
map.
Yeah. Well, they both do have those motherships, I believe. I think no, it's only one mothership actually. So Yenfu has just been the kind of more passive one. You've noticed that especially just when he decided to keep his phoenixes at home, get those carriers, and then now getting the mothership, he's just going for that golden armada. And I mean, with the full army of carriers and motherships, I don't think that interaction that I was talking about is really gonna matter that much.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be here to some extent just because both players do now have the mothership out on the ground. This is so weird here. Actually getting some probes is Dragon God, but he's bleeding out phoenixes, and he needs every phoenix he can get for the fight that is... I mean, it's not coming right now, but it's coming.
Well, maybe what he's trying to do now is slowly bleed off his phoenixes while transitioning into carriers of his own. Because, I mean, think about it. If it does keep on going this way, you get an economic lead here. And unless Yenfu is going for that Fist of Neeb army where you just don't have any probes at all, then this is a good idea. You know, you don't trade out all your phoenixes at once because the carriers take so long to build up and you're not caught up in upgrades yet. So you can't quite give them up just yet. But if you can get something done with them, expend that energy, get an economic lead, then you're going to be the one with the economic advantage. And oh my God,
Yeah,
so many interceptors.
Fighting the carriers with this army is not the right call. I think Dragon God needs to get back to his base, find a way to fight over some kind of cannon emplacement, hopefully with shield battery backup as well. He's throwing down those shield batteries now, but Kwame, this might be too late here as Dragon God tries to find a credible defensive position on top of this third base.
Yeah, if he had the shield batteries out already, this would be nice, but dang, seeing how fast those go out. Oh, here comes a target fire, though. Do they have detection? I believe so. It doesn't even matter. He's just going on in there. The mothership is gonna fall, and here we have some good target firing with the carriers, just obliterating the army of Dragon God. Not even close.
And GG.
Whoa, kidoki then.
Yeah, Dragon God taking, or rather Yenfu taking the first game for Waterloo, putting them up 1-0. Waterloo, I think, does have the deeper roster here, so that's going to put them in a really nice position to try and claim the series. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to be right back with our next series, which is going to be Light versus the Riddler. Ooh.
but she said, trust me, these are the stories we will tell. As I stood frozen, infinite, I almost fell, but I got a feeling and my heart starts beating, a sudden rush of feeling alive. This is freedom and I won't change, I won't phase out. I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the CSL Round of 8. We're getting ready to jump into our next map here on Black-Pink. Waterloo leads 1-0 against their opponents, UC San Diego. And I'm going to be curious to see if they can get up 2-0.
Yep, we do have quote-unquote Avalo, aka the Riddler, in his natural habitat, Black-Pink versus Light, the Zerg player. So this is like a matchup that he would definitely, well, I don't know. His famous one obviously was in the TVT, but that was a very, very special circumstance, was it not, Joe?
It absolutely was. But before we talk about that any further, let's introduce our players spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner playing for Waterloo. It is the red Terran player, the Riddler.
And in the top right-hand corner from University of California, San Diego, it is Light. Not Licht, but Light. We asked him, and he said, yeah, Light.
Yeah. So, spelling not up to par in the courses these days.
Nope.
Education.
You know what I mean? But, I mean, come on, dude. Think about it this way. You get people, right, that go to school to play football. They may not be the brightest, right? But hot damn, are they good at football? Well, here we do have in CSL people that are damn good at StarCraft 2, but it doesn't mean that they're up to par in their spelling, or at least English grades.
Now, Light, I do want to point out, like, I think most people watching probably know who the Riddler is, just because of his recent shenanigans. But Light is also a very good player.
Yeah.
So he can certainly play this out however he wants. I don't know if you want to go to late game with the Riddler, because that's where the Riddler is comfortable on. You called it his natural habitat, TVZ on Black-Pink. If you're Light, I've got to think you're thinking, what timing can I do so I don't have to do the thing he wants to do, because I don't want to do that. Right.
So what could he possibly pull out? Unless Light has some really, really sick late game ZVT. I honestly don't know. I feel like there are some all-ins that you can do. Some nice Nidus shenanigans you can pull off. Obviously, the Overlord drop stuff is out of the picture unless you're at Lair, but yeah, let's see how this one turns out, especially just seeing that the Riddler going to be opening up with, I believe it was a gas first, as he did open up with a Marine going right into that factory. So it's not going to be a Reaper Scout. He sent the SCV, knows that Light is not going to go for a pull first. So setting up to what could be a nice little mech game. Let's see if Light is hip to it, if he's been paying attention to his opponent. Not only that, but also to the headlines. But
yeah, one thing I'm curious about here, Kwame. So we know that the Riddler idolizes Avalo, right? He based his whole playstyle around him. He named himself after him. Do you think he plays with health bars?
If he's a true Avalo fan, not even a fan, but a disciple.
That's a zealot, even.
Yeah, he's a fanatic. Like, you can't even say fan when you speak of him, right? Like, you have to use the full word. I hope not. You know, that's all. Oh, well, Lings are gonna get in here, but it's only 4, and the Hellions are gonna pop out. It is a Hellion and a Cyclone, but that's a good scout, and also gonna be able to almost get a kill on that SCV. Can he get anything here, though? That's the question. He wants to get anything.
Yeah, he did get the one SCV. But, yeah, with the Reaper and the Cyclone all popping out to back up that Hellion, not too much damage going to be taken here.
Speaking of not too much damage taken here, we got 2 Marines shooting at a hatchery.
Yeah, well, you don't need bio when you're going to play mech, right? Those
Marines
they got kicked
just
out in case.
Right? It's like, yeah, go on this mission here. There's a hatchery out there that needs scouting.
Oh, actually, this is a
Ooh.
pretty committed push from the Riddler. He's even pulling SCVs to help out with this.
Oh,
And-
this is nice, actually. Luckily for the Riddler, the Speedlings weren't able to get out and take them out. So this is going to be a pretty tough hold, I would say.
Yeah, there's two.
He has an armory coming.
queens, No real Lings, but the queens are actually going to retreat and leave their fellow queen to die here. Lings are going to come in and just get cleaned up immediately. The Riddler is doing massive damage here.
Yeah, this is panic mode here for Light, and if he gets taken out, we were talking about the Riddler being the ones being so comfortable in the late game. Well, we might not even get there, and it's not even going to be at the fault of him turtling by any means. He's getting aggressive here. I love this push, by the way. It totally caught Light off guard.
Yeah, and Light is getting his Baneling messed up to try to deal with this. He does have 4 queens. He might not die here, but he's in so much trouble, even if the Riddler chooses not to try to end the game at this moment. It looks like all the Lings of Light going to try to get the surround on here. They are going to get cleaned up pretty efficiently by the Hellbats. More queens firing from the back, but there's no buffer here, Kwame.
No buffer at all. The Lings die so fast, and even if this gets cleaned up by the Riddler, the amount of damage that he's done by forcing out all of those Lings, taking the third base, is nearly game-ending damage.
Yeah.
The Riddler's getting a third base up. He hasn't taken any real damage. He didn't even take damage from the 4 Lings, right? So
No,
this doesn't matter.
where do you go from here? Is it just like a 3 base follow-up, like a big push with some tanks and knowing your opponent can't produce? Or is the Riddler, who's a player that's kind of known for his passive mech style, is he not gonna... It would seem really weird not to try to end the game after that, right?
Yeah, I would say he has a timing under his belt here. If he chooses to actually take advantage of it, because what we're going to see here out of Light is either going to be getting the third base, maybe taking a 4th base to try to compensate, and just drone up as heavily as he can, assuming that the Riddler is going to go into a passive game, or he's going to go for an attack of his own. So that is what we have to kind of pay attention to, because it could be on the Riddler to not get caught off guard and actually just get too greedy here and then die when he takes his third base. But it's almost like a checkmate situation when you can't make enough as Zerg to kill a Terran player in this situation, but you also can't, you want to drone up in order to actually catch up.
Yeah, well,
So-
it's like you can't drone up enough to catch up and make enough to survive.
There we go.
So
yeah.
you're basically throwing the dice and you're saying, I'm either going to try to catch up on drones, hope he doesn't identify it and try to kill me, or I'm going to try to kill him and hope he's like of the mindset, get more ahead when you're ahead.
Yeah, and get a supply blocked or something like that, right? Like that's
Yeah.
another thing that could truly kill a Terran player if you are ahead. But like we said in the beginning, these are players, they're master, grandmaster, definitely not one-trick ponies in this situation. So I would be hard-pressed to find the Riddler in a situation where he just gets stuck at like, 80-something supply, taking a third base and just dying to an attack. So yeah, this is definitely a rough situation here for Light. And he's going to have to reach into that bag of tricks, dig down deep inside and say, what can I do to try to break this guy who is basically got me in the palm of his hands?
Yeah, and now it does look like the Riddler is settling in. So
Yep.
if Light chose to go for massive droning, which it more or less looks like he does, he might be able to play some catch up here. He's going to be behind for the next few minutes. He's going to be crazy vulnerable. But if he just dumps all of his current resources into catching up economically and the Riddler keeps doing what he's doing, Light might have a chance in this game.
Yeah, I agree here. With the 4th base coming up, this door drop, if this gets shut down really easily, then I would definitely say that Light can pull himself into this game. He does have Overlord speed, so he can get scouting pretty much the whole game if he chooses to. And he also has the opportunity to drop stuff in the main. He can do multi-prong drops if he wants to keep the Riddler busy. But the door drop, such a hard thing to deal with sometimes when your anti-air really isn't up to par.
Yeah, and earlier all those queens were grouped up. That would have made this a lot easier to deal with. There are roaches on the ground to buy time for the queens. He has to do a really good job of targeting those medevacs and transfusing the queens to keep him alive. That's already decent chip damage, but he's bleeding out so many drones in the natural.
Oh, 12 drones. All of these drones he was just trying to get back up in order to catch up, and it's going to be reset 51 drones remain, and that number could completely continue to plummet.
Yeah,
if these Thors are here.
You're gonna be so happy to get that value out of your Hellions. The Thors, I think Light has done a good job of dealing with the Thors so far, and he's probably going to continue to stay on top of it just because he already knows they're there. But
wow, Riddler playing with fire, yo. Like, just because you're ahead doesn't mean you're going to just lose 2 medevacs full of Thors. But he kind of can, but you don't want to. You definitely don't.
Yeah, the Roach count is high enough to probably target down those Thors as long as there's Queen back up here. And Light holds on for now. He's re-droning. He's going to be back at the drone count of his opponent. The Thor drop did nothing other than just pull all of Light's attention away from dealing with those Hellions.
Yeah, which might have been enough. Losing that many drones and then having a drone up again gives the Riddler an opportunity again for a timing, but it doesn't seem like he's going for anything just as of yet, sorry. But the more important part was that he didn't lose the Thors. I think if you lose that threat and such a heavy investment, you just basically say, here, I want you to come back into this game. I actually don't want to end the game because it makes me happy to play in the late game. I can't have you rob me of this opportunity on the CSL stage to play a late game here on Blackpink. So I'm going to let you live.
Yeah, he likes playing StarCraft. And who can fault him for that? He wants to keep playing this game because we all know CSL players are only allowed to play in the CSL. So
right.
Once this game's over, he's not allowed to play any more StarCraft. He just wants the game to keep going.
No ladder either, right? Like, you can't play ladder. You can't play WCS. You want to play in base trade leagues? Good luck, buddy. You're locked in. Nah, guys, but you can play in anything if you do choose to, and that is what we have these things to base off of, especially talking about the Riddler and his, recent infamy, I would say.
Shenaniganery.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not gonna stop bringing that up.
Does look like a couple of medevacs do pop in here with the Thors. The Liberator's also doing some damage. Corrosive Bile on the Queen should be enough to shut this down pretty quickly. But is this just a distraction for the Thors to try to weasel their way in here somewhere?
Maybe so. You're trying, but it does look like Light is positioned to defend it. He loses a few drones, but he does get the Liberator that was harassing his 5th or the 4th. So let's see. I think when the Hive comes out, we start to get into territory where it is possible to start making some good trades with these Vipers, but the Riddler, he knows what he's getting into. He's getting the Ravens out. They have begun the production. Corvid Reactor is on the way. That's going to give the Ravens their energy for starting out, but I don't believe these first initial 3 Ravens are going to get the benefit of that extra energy.
Yeah, so these Thors now finally going to find the opening they've been looking for quite some time. Ling's going to try to get the surround on them. Medevacs are available for the pickups, and these guys are just going to back off here. The Riddler's been so far ahead for so long this game. It's like really weird to me that he didn't try to end it and he took it to this Is
point. It though?
No, it's not really.
Like, for anyone else, you would think, right? Like, you get an advantage, you wait for them to drone up, and then you do some kind of nail in the coffin kind of push. But nope, the Riddler, this is what he loves. This is his passion. Yeah, he wakes up every morning and looks in the mirror and says, yep, today we're going to play some 30-minute games, boys. We're going to play some 60-minute games, boys.
It almost feels like he's like a cat playing with its food, here. Just continuing to bounce around. Every little move he makes is just doing massive damage to Light, and Light doesn't really have the tools to deal with all of this multi-pronged harass while keeping his economy up. His army is still pretty bad. It's a lot of Roach heavy, with some Banelings to deal with, kind of the Hellbats up at the front here. And I don't know what Light's move is. He does have the Vipers out. I think he's hoping for like a miracle engage where he can surround an unsieged army and drop Blinding Clouds and crash Banelings into everything. It's a long shot.
It is, yeah. But this is the opportunity that is presented to you in a situation where you might have been dead. So it's actually good. I mean, this is probably the best situation for Light if he is comfortable in the late game. Now, if he doesn't have a lot of confidence in his late game, then this is an absolute nightmare. On Blackpink, when a Terran is able to take this many bases at once, and then they're just kind of playing around with you and just completely obliterating all of your economy. But oh my God, the missiles. There is not much that can shoot up here, but the Ravens are the only real units that need to be worried about when it comes down to air units. But tanks on another front, definitely going to be pretty good against Roach Ravager.
Yeah, I wonder, it does look like Light is going to be sticking on just pure Roach, and this is kind of hard to see. He's only sitting at 150 supply. If the Riddler chose to move out now, he'd be fighting a smaller army of Roach Hydra. What Light is hoping for is he can make it into the next stage where he can get Broodlords out, and suddenly that becomes a tool he can maybe use to clean up the ground army, and then his Hydras can come in and take out all of these Ravens. But boy, it's going to be tough for him to get there.
Yeah, I think the real issue is that he's stuck on this kind of early/mid-game kind of army. This is the kind of army as a Zerg player that you like to trade out with a Terran player when you're ahead because you have such a better economy. Like, these units are not late-game units when it comes down to it, right? So if you're going to take a big risk, you can't really hope to trade out the same way you would on even footing or if you were ahead. So you saw the results of that just with Ravens and a few tanks in the middle. That wasn't even with the planetary setup here. So I do worry here for Light, more so in the fact that I think his mentality as far as army comp for this stage of the game is just not where it needs to be. He needs to be thinking way far ahead and is even thinking of ditching the Roaches completely.
Yeah, it's a really weird spot to be, though, right? Because you don't want to be naked, and all the tools he needs take forever to get up. So maybe he's hoping, like, kind of the Roach buffer can help him survive. He can poke and threaten with it, because even though Roaches are bad at this stage in the game, you can't completely ignore them. And now he's reached this point, he's got the Pathogen Glands up, he's got Infestors coming out, where he can maybe, like, try to do some Roach run-bys, bleed off those Roaches, transition all that ground army into maybe Hydra or something, and then just try to play a really solid positional game with good use of spellcasting units.
Exactly, right? And playing it a bit more patient, as the Riddler is doing. So this is the kind of army that is going to be so hard to deal with the longer the game goes on. Those Ravens are going to continue to regenerate their energy. And that fight, yeah, sure, the Riddler lost a few tanks. I think some of the Ravens got a bit low because of the parasitic bomb. But in the end, I believe it was basically energy for the entire army of Light. And it's going to continue to happen if he just goes on this path. So Light, I think getting the Infestors is good. Getting maybe Neural Parasite, perhaps. Getting the Broodlords are okay if he's afraid of the tanks. But remember, they can still get taken out by the Ravens and the Thors in that other mode. So
Light has no Vipers.
Oh, he did lose the Vipers and he did not remake them, and he's maxed out. So this is not ideal at all.
Yeah, the Riddler's even suiciding his tanks. The Riddler's going into nukes. He's making 5 nukes at a time.
Oh my god. Oh boy. Well, the Riddler, as you were saying, playing with the food. It can get you in trouble sometimes, you know, but I don't know if... Yeah?
If you neural a ghost, do they still have the codes to launch the nukes?
Oh, I don't think so, but that would be cool if they did, right? It's like, you don't just forget that, right?
Right,
like,
yeah.
If you neural the ghost,
call
you
in
have
the
the
strike.
access to his brain, right? So...
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm like 99% sure you're right on that one. I don't think you can do it. But, like, hit me up, David Kim.
Yeah. Well, we got a first nuke coming up here over in the third base location of Light. He realizes it, and he even kills the ghost. So now he's just looking for things to nuke. This is that point in the game where you're just like, I've always wanted to do this as a Terran player. Just have a playground to nuke. Many, many places. And
Okay,
kids, I don't
good.
advocate that. Yep. Oh, but he's pulling him over to the other base, and that's another nuke, but it does get taken out, the ghost. Oh my god, those anti-armor missiles just taking out so many of the corruptors. And Joe, you look at that unit's lost tab, it is getting to the point where the Riddler has lost half as much as his opponent Light here.
Yeah, so I mean, what Light needs is Vipers, right? You can't win this without Vipers.
I don't believe so. I think, yeah, Vipers are the answer. Even the Infestors, the combination, that could take out this whole group of Ravens if the Riddler stacks them all up. He's not careful. He might lose the Infestors and Vipers in the process, but I do believe it might be the only way.
Yeah, if you can get a couple good fungals off and then pin them down and then get the parasitic bomb on and then get the corruptors on top of it to clean up And suddenly, unlike Zerg, I mean, the Riddler can't remake this army quickly. So if he loses it all in one blow, that's probably going to be the in here for Light. But I think Light's had enough. He's moving and he's taking the anti-armor missiles to the face here. And he's going to maybe get this base, but he's going to bleed out a lot of army for one planetary.
A lot of army that he cannot afford to lose like that, but he does take out the planetary, one of the many planetaries that the Riddler has. And now with the Ghost support, the Corruptors are going to get taken out. The Ravens do add a little bit of support there. And that was a very, very costly engagement for Light. Both of them did lose a lot, but the Riddler can afford to lose a lot more. Dang, that is rough. That is super rough. You know, he thought that was the opportunity. Even got some good fungals in the beginning, but he didn't have anything to capitalize on, the fact that they were all stuck together.
Yeah, I don't know what the next move is. Like, Light is
I would say,
the GG keys?
well, I mean, that was probably the best chance he was going to get this game. In my opinion here. If he remaxed on more Vipers and whatnot, I would say he has another opportunity to do it. But if you're going to remax on just Corruptor and Ro8 Ravager, I don't believe so. The Ghost count's going to get too high. Sniper's going to be far too effective, and there's nothing that's going to be able to stop the Ghosts.
The Riddler is suiciding every unit that's not a Raven.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He sieged his tanks up just in front of an army. Like, he's going to go on pure Ghost Raven, and... Like, he's been suiciding his SCVs over, too. Yeah. Here's some more. Oh,
I mean, he even is getting weapon refit for the battle cruisers, Yamato cannon. So, we might see battle cruisers mixed in here, too. And gosh. I just... You can't help but smile and laugh when it comes down to it, right? Like...
Yeah, he's not... This is silly.
It's pretty silly, yeah. It's definitely a silly...
This base might die.
It could. Especially with some corrosive biles. These are +3 attack, Roaches and Ravagers, and the army of the Riddler is on the other side of the map. It is in the middle now. Middler and the Riddler. Your Riddler and the Middler.
Alright, nukes are going to be coming down. Light with the pulls, he sends them to... Okay. These are all going to survive. All these drones do live.
But the Roach Ravager army... getting bullied by the Ravens. They actually can't kill the Roach Ravagers, all of them. And the nukes got about 3 kills, but I don't even think they got the base. So, here come the Ghosts. That's what he was waiting for. And oh my god, the amount of snipes that are happening. It's like Wesley Snipes has cloned himself like 17 times.
So, the Riddler is now trying to nuke these bases to death here.
Yeah, he doesn't even care about the drones anymore, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you can't take out... Well, yeah, his opponent's super gas and mineral starved. So I guess taking out the bases, the drones, it doesn't really matter. The Riddler just lost 15 SCVs. I assume he's thrilled about that because it gives him more supply for battle cruisers and Ravens.
Uh-huh. Yep.
This is a really tough game for Light here, who's kind of become the reluctant hero. No one wants to be the hero against the Riddler, but he has stepped into that role. And he's trying his best. He's making moves on the map. And I almost feel like the Riddler may be acting too silly and might get himself into some trouble here.
Yeah, I think he would, you know, if the army composition here of Light were to be one of which that could go ahead and take these engagements and have the miracle trades. The Infestors are the start. The Corruptors are here, but with the snipes as well as those anti-armor missiles, I don't know if the Corruptors are going to be able to be the cleanup unit. So he needs something to be able to stop the Ghost from sniping, which will be the Fungals as well. Not get all of his Infestors EMP'd either. So, I mean, it's possible. You know, we're getting to that stage where he's really starting to lose a lot more units than he needs to, the Riddler. But...
yeah.
Oh boy, this is what I'm talking about! Oh, the Ghosts are going to get away though, I think.
Yeah, the Ghosts are going to get away. One great fungal there, because we'll keep in mind that does... that
one
does
HP hatchery in the bottom right, too. Or the, yeah. Oh. It was 3 auto turrets.
Oh, man. That was tough. Light wasn't even able to, like, use the fungal, because I don't think he had enough DPS to clean up the Ghosts. But I think it's pretty easy to see that many cloaked ghosts, right? It makes your skill shot a lot easier when there's just a puddle on the map.
Yeah, you just shoot, and, you pray and just hope that you're going to catch the majority of them or the ones that started the steady targeting. So, this is a situation where in most cases the game would be over, right? Like, if you look at the state of the game could be over just by looking at the income of Light, the position that he's in. He has a good drone count, and as long as he can actually mine, he might be able to get enough Vipers and Infestors out and then get this engagement. But
yeah,
the
but
Riddler
he needs to keep this base alive, and the Riddler's not going to let him. He's going to drop these auto turrets. Looking like maybe he's actually going to be ending this game in a moment here. Does take out this base. Actually, some of these Ravens may be vulnerable here.
Yeah, and if he splits up those Corruptors, there's really not a lot to support them either. The Ghosts are trying, at least... No, they're actually hanging out. They're chilling. They're having a tea party. An orbital tea party. So, the bank for the Riddler is great, though. There was a point in time where the Riddler's bank was actually not that good. It wasn't that impressive at all. But now we are getting to the stage where this bank is going to start to get out of control. There's no way to really contest the other bases of the Riddler. He's kind of locked them down with tanks, liberators, turrets, and planetaries. So Light is kind of just at a loss right now in his mind, I would say, right? Like, he hasn't really figured it out yet. And I'm kind of wondering exactly what it is that he needs to do as well. I'm not blaming him here.
He needs the miracle engage, right? He needs the dream where you lock down all the ghosts and you kill him. And then you can kind of pounce on the Ravens, but it's...
Yep. Oh, there are nukes everywhere, Joe. He's going in the natural. The Infestors might walk into it. Okay, no, they're not gonna.
Here comes what could be the end game move here from the Riddler, who is continuing to push things up, and he's gonna pull back once again. This might be the death march here.
Yeah, where the battle cruisers at, Joe? That's what I want to know. At this point, you might as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Riddler could just end this game at any time he so chooses. And yeah, it looks like he doesn't quite want the game to end yet, so he is just going to go ahead and pull back here.
Well, it's a funny kind of army, right? Where it's like you run out of energy and all of a sudden it's useless, but I think he doesn't have enough energy on the Ravens to end the game. With that amount of Roach Ravager, he's been using a lot of the snipes here. So I don't know if he can completely just end it. But once he starts to get the energy full up again, let that recharge, pull the Liberators with it too, then I think he can do it.
Yeah, I mean, the Riddler just needs to sit back, basically, let everything max out on energy again, and then he can walk across the map and end the game. I don't think he wants to do that, honestly.
Yeah.
I think
he's having too much fun.
Enjoying himself.
Oh, yes, he is.
With the constant scans and the ghosts and the nukes. I think he doesn't want to kill his opponent. I think he wants to convince his opponent to leave of his own accord.
It seems to be that way, huh? Light is showing no signs of giving up, though. He's a valiant one. He wants to bring his team up here against the juggernaut that is Waterloo.
Yeah, what did Day 9 say? Never give up, never surrender. Light is showing us that mentality, and, I mean, these angles are good. Like, this is how you could get the engagement. He does have the Overseer.
Oh, the ghost getting caught!
And
what?
Suddenly we have a game on our hands once again.
Oh my gosh.
Light needs to follow this up with some kind of move, like a big fungal growth here. He can maybe get some infested Terrans underneath it. He doesn't have the Corruptors to clean up, but no ghosts are going to be coming in to rescue these Ravens.
No, and they are completely out of energy for the most part. He has to fly on back to the safety of his tanks. There's not even that many turrets here. There's only 2 and 1 single Viking. So this base is going to go down. And Light, as gas-starved as he is hungry for this win for University of California, San Diego. I think the ghosts in the top right, which were in the main, we're trying to get some kind of troll nukes off on the Greater Spire, but he let the rest of his ghosts get completely caught.
Yeah, and Light still in a horrible position here. But suddenly, that kind of fight puts a spring back in your step. If he was a broken man, maybe he's put the pieces back together. And he's going to clean up even more ghosts here. That just couldn't have gone better for Light.
No, that was just a huge misstep by the Riddler. Unless it's part of his sick, twisted plan. I mean, the fact that he's not maxing out makes me wonder. Although, I mean, he's not sitting on the same kind of economy that he used to have. He did get rid of a lot of his SCVs. He's only on 38. He does have mules at least, but he's not quick to max out. He's making a bunch more barracks. So if that's going to be for more ghosts, I would assume that's a pretty decent plan, but jeez, that was a huge misstep, man. Like,
Huge misstep.
like a gigantic, ginormous one.
So does that 18 on the nuke mean this is the 18th nuke?
I did not know that. Maybe. Oh.
All right, that queen does fall to the nuke here. Light maneuvering his army to try to deny the Riddler from taking this base. And this could actually work. He does have the Corruptor's Peon on it. The anti-armor missiles do come down, shred apart this army. Splits a little bit late for Light. That whole army lit off orange. Flank from the Corruptor is going to try to engage this, but fighting into this auto turrets is really expensive, and Light is so broke.
He just really can't make a lot here. Continuing to make roaches, and that is going to be the last of his bank. The only base that's mining is that top left one and his 4th location. But the trading from the Riddler is getting to be out of hand. 55,000 mineral, or at least resources lost for Light to the 39,000 of the Riddler.
Can you scroll over to the main base?
Oh boy. Is this necessary? I don't even, Joe. How did he even get an SCV in there is what I want to know.
I think that was his scouting barracks.
Oh my god, you might be right. Yep. That's been there the whole game, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, so
unbelievable.
It almost feels like at this point the Riddler, off of all of his barracks, could just make a bunch of Marines and...
Nope, he's going to make a ghost out of it and immediately nuke from the main. He's like, where is this ghost at? He's looking for it. No, don't fly into it. Okay.
I see.
He has
Okay,
no
he's actually...
idea.
But it's in his vision.
But there he goes. Okay. And the queen is going to try, but... Okay, here come the roaches to clean that up.
Do you think one of these moves, one of these troll moves the Riddler's doing is going to be like in Dragon Ball Z when Frieza kills Krillin and Goku finally goes Super Saiyan?
Loses his... Yeah, right? This could be it, but I mean, in StarCraft 2, I don't know. Unless there's a hero unit like a Mothership Core, I don't think it's happening.
Yeah,
no, not even the Mothership Core could save him from this one, my friends.
Light is like approaching maxed out again, but he's basically maxed out on like a tier 1.5 army.
Mm-hmm. And that has been the issue here. He's not getting value out of his units at all. Like, he got one really good trade there when the Riddler slipped up. But other than that, the value that he's getting out of his army is pretty much non-existent. And this could be the death push finally. He has the Liberators in position. A few tanks to cover and also the Ghost with nearly full energy. This is going to be just the tallest mountain that this Zerg has ever had to climb. Light in a very dark place right now.
Yeah, there is no Light where he is currently sleeping. Sitting on... I'm not even going to call them bases, but 4 hatcheries.
Yeah, because they really aren't mining much, right?
Yeah, the Riddler finally seems ready to end this game. He's moving up. He's got a huge army of full energy ghosts here. And, yeah, I mean, he could start moving towards, like, a building elimination stage here.
At this point, yeah. I don't know. I don't have that same magical feel anymore as far as Light's chances in this one. He's starting to lose a lot, but the Liberators are a bit exposed. But here come the Ghosts to save the day. But, a Fungal could prove pretty useful here, but is it even going to be enough? Would it even matter if you were able to kill?
It doesn't matter anymore. I mean, Light has no workers.
Well, I mean, can this army even break the amount of planetaries that are out?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's
maybe
no...
the Corruptors, but...
Even if you kill this whole army, it doesn't matter anymore because Light has no workers.
No detection.
Yeah,
no energy.
This is going to be it.
No army.
Stutter stepping his ghosts up here. GG is called. The Riddler takes the second game for Waterloo. And that's going to put him in a 2-0 lead against UC San Diego.
Woo. I only took one sip of water that whole game.
Nice.
181 workers were made that game.
That is a lot of workers.
Yeah, I just want to put that out there. Or by light. If you want to count both of them, then plus 91.
94 structures destroyed by the Riddler.
Ooh. Yeah, that's crazy. That's cray-cray.
All right, don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to be right back with the 2v2. We just need one moment to kind of catch our breaths.
Mm-hmm.
But she said, trust me, these are the stories we will tell. As I stood frozen, infinite, I almost fell. But I got a feeling and my heart starts beating, a sudden rush of feeling alive. This is freedom and I won't change, I won't phase out.
saying I know you're understanding what I say. We're out of time, so I'm keeping my heart safe and sound. Safe and sound. Safe and right from the start, we knew that this would never be now, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to CSL. We're getting ready to jump into our 2v2 as Waterloo leads 2-0 with the Riddler taking a decisive win over Light here. And
Ooh, what a game, huh?
what?
It almost seemed like it was over, right? In the beginning, losing the third, and then, no. You knew where you were going. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Get Out. But there's a place in that movie called The Sunken Place. And I feel like Light was in the sunken place for the majority of that game.
Yeah, it was a really tough position to be in. The upside down, the sunken place, whatever you want to call it, it was a place where no light shines. But he does have a chance here to burn brightly once again as we hop into what could be the final match of this series. And spawning here in the bottom left-hand corner playing for Waterloo, it is Locke and Buster.
And in the top right-hand corner, trying to bring it back for University of California, San Diego, it is Cloak and his teammate, Light.
Yeah, so Cloak and Light both being strong players here. I think everyone here have been in GM at least once. So
Okay.
this is higher level than the normal 2v2 that we get to see here in the CSL, and I'm excited to see how these guys want to play it out. You know, Waterloo is known for their love of Avila.
Yep.
They do have two Terrans, but it's mech on Overgrown Facility, which is kind of a narrow, long map. I don't know how well that strategy is going to work.
Yeah, I'm wondering the dynamic, especially in the 2v2 scenario, right? Where your opponent, or rather your teammate, could be vulnerable as well. Well, unless they both go mech and just super turtle it up, but I'm not really that familiar when it comes down to the 2v2 maps and just how it actually works out. So the fact that it is going to be a pool first, it is a gas pool out of University of California from both of the Zergs.
Yeah, this is 6 Racks Reaper out of
Whoa.
out of Waterloo.
Okay. What? Holy moly, then. Yeah.
This is gonna come down to pure micro, nothing but Reapers.
Definitely. But I like the fact that it is going to be that pool first. So they are going to be able to get their speedlings out. But remember, in 1v1, you know, sometimes you can keep up with, you know, microing against even a pretty good amount of Reapers. But when you start to combine that with your teammate here and then you gang up on one other Zerg player, it could kind of get out of hand, especially in the snowball scenario where you just don't react to it initially and you just don't have enough time to recover before your teammate is able to help you out.
Yeah, and
Who's going to get hit first, Joe?
I hate the Baneling Nest here for UC San Diego. You're going to need every resource you get being poured into Speedlings and Queens to try to deal with this. And slow Baneling's not going to help you in this situation. That's 6 less lings you can have. Nope, that's wrong math. But anyways.
Well, whatever it is.
I guess
3 in the...
Yeah, I guess if you clear out, if you clear the Reapers, then it does give you the option to go bust.
I guess you're right about that, right? Like, especially if they combine it with the Ravager bust as well. So, one of them going Roach Ravager, the other one going Ling Bane. Could be a deadly combination. And then remember, if the Reapers jump into a cliff that has some Banelings on it, they could lose quite a few of them, too.
Yeah, and it does look like the first wave of this is fended off. I don't think more than one Reaper's fallen here. Cloak and Light, though, doing a good job patrolling with these Lings. They're trying to lock down all the outer areas so they can defend them and stay alive here.
Yeah, there are a lot of cliff space here, right? Like, you can jump up in quite a few locations, more than a few. Just coming up through here, being able to pick off some of these drones at that natural, never allow them to mine, even kills the Spine Crawler before it cancels. And the Roaches are heading across the map, but remember, this could be still pretty tough if you don't have the Ravagers to try to outrange them. But if you get them pinned up against the wall, then the Reapers are not as effective as you would like them to be.
Yeah, I think they're hoping to force them into a situation where it's like you can either defend your mineral line or you cannot defend your mineral line, but you're going to have to fight me head on. But as long as the micro's good here out of Buster, that's probably not going to happen.
Oh, that was really good by Buster. He let the Lings in, but he did not let the Roaches in, so he buys enough time to not have to fight both of them at the same time. So here go the Reapers. Is it going to work out here? Is he going to get help from his teammate, or is he just going to have to hope that he can fend it off while the economic damage gets done?
Yeah, look how
Doesn't seem like.
The SCVs are going to be quite a potential here to pull, and they do get pulled. They buy some time. The Reapers come back up, and they can clean up the rest of this. And this attack looking pretty anemic, but look at the follow-up with the slow Banelings here.
Oh, they're trying to get into that mineral line, but all of those SCVs are going to evacuate, so the Banelings are going to get picked off before they get any damage done. And that's a pretty heavy investment. Not really that big of an economy here for our Zerg players, sitting on 17 drones each to the 25 and 27 of their opponents, plus the mules.
Yeah, and this second follow-up is big and scary, but it's probably the last attack. If they go for Buster, I think they have a chance. If they go for Lock, they're just going to walk right into a siege tank here. And let's see, can they get it done? Do they have a plan here? It doesn't look like they have the tools necessary to break the ramp. And
No.
this follow-up just going to peter out.
Oh, and that is not what you can afford here if you are the Double Zerg player. University of San Diego, or California, San Diego. Yeah, just not getting the damage that they wanted to get done. Not at all. And I am very worried here because now that the tank is out for Lock, he's even going to bring it over to Buster's base, keep that in there, and then keep the other ones at home. So it's going to be two locations that are going to be very heavily secured, and I just don't see any kind of aggressive play able to be breaking them.
Yeah, and they're sitting on just really anemic economies here. So I think Buster are going to come back across this map and potentially just do massive amounts of damage here. The Roach count not that high, the Ling count super low as well, and at the same time Locke going to be going for a drop after he's pulled these armies out of position.
Yeah, that was the chance. And now I feel like Cloak and Light, I'm going to have to figure something else out. I just don't know, all right? The economy's not there. The second base of both of the Terrans from Waterloo are going to be secured. So now they can at least go get this drop damage done. The Reaper goes into spot, see what's going on. Scout it out, see how many drones are at each one of those bases here. And just with this drop being here is annoying.
Yeah, well, with the medevac, they can kind of abuse the high ground or the low ground position there.
Yep.
At the same time, Buster continuing to just chip away at the Roach defense here. And eventually, with the fast region on those Reapers, he can probably make his way into that mineral line. And Locke...
Yeah, he might even chill. Like, just kick it. He's starting to macro up at home, too, so he has no rush to end the game. The only thing he really needs to do is keep Light making units. Keep him defending. If he starts to lose Roaches one by one, then it means that he's going to have to make more to try to not die to the next follow-up of Reapers. So this is almost a checkmate move where it's like, I need to make drones. I absolutely need to, but I don't want to die.
Yeah, it's a really, really hard situation here. And it does look like Locke and Buster taking a commanding lead. Light is doing a good job of kind of balancing his workers and his army, making the best of a tough situation. We saw him do that against the Riddler as well. And he's trying to make something happen here, but that Reaper count so high, so harassing, and Is he getting +1 weapon upgrades for his Reapers?
For the Reapers, because he's not stopping the Reaper production, Joe. 4 more are in production, +1 going to be finishing, and even getting a fusion core. Because why the hell not? I think it might be for Liberator range, but if not, and he goes right into a battle cruiser,
I
mean,
hope
hell,
it's battle cruiser Reaper.
I would love it. I would love it if it were to be just one battle cruiser, because funnily enough, you can't really deal with the battle cruiser with this army comp.
Yeah, especially when you're like trying desperately not to die to Reapers here. You don't generally. Yeah, it's a battle cruiser.
Oh my god, okay. Well, the Spire coming out here for Cloak is a good answer to dealing with the drops as well as the Reaper heavy comp. But 1, is it going to be in time? 2, do you have the economy to make enough to matter? And 3, are you just going to die straight up to a push coming up?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a battle cruiser.
And remember, it can teleport.
He's getting.
Look at how fast the +1 Reapers actually kill the roaches. That was kind of...
He's getting +2 for his Reapers as well here. And I don't know if this battle cruiser is actually even going to come into play, because with this like normal real army coming out of Lock here, this is going to be super tough to engage and deal with from Light and Cloak.
Well, you were talking about that low ground position earlier. I believe that Locke is going to continue to abuse it here. And the battle cruiser might even warp over to another location that is not even close to this point that they need to defend. Or maybe he'll jump right on top of it. I mean, time will tell.
Yeah, we're going to have to see here. Locke does step up onto the high ground now. Losing that Spire right as the battle cruisers start appearing is not going to feel great. But this is a nice move out of Light to try to deal with this army.
Yeah, even getting Corrosive Biles on the tanks. He takes out all of the tanks, so this is really nice for him. A good start. A very, very good start, if I must say. And before the Spire went down, 6 mutas were able to be produced. But now here come the Reapers. If only there were... I think they might have been waiting around before, but I wonder if they were in that mineral line while the roaches were defending. If he were to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But here we go.
Manor Mules being dropped here with the battle cruiser.
Not Manor. These have a use here.
Oh.
They are going to try to repair that battle cruiser.
Yeah.
And he's sitting in the Spore Crawler, though. He can take out that last muta, and that is almost the last hope. Oh, boy. Epic battle. Battle cruiser versus a Spore Crawler. Oh, he lives.
Is it going to die to the Queen?
Ah! There's a mule. It's getting so low.
His allies dropping mules to repair, but that's it.
Yo, he takes out the Queen, and he even warps in another battle cruiser. It teleports right into that mineral line, and they have no other choice but to counterattack here, Joe. And what are they going to run into? Well,
Mules?
a bunch of Reapers? Mules? Okay. That might be a Manor Mule. Or maybe he wanted to soak up some of the Banelings.
Maybe. There's actually not a tank here, so he can get into this mineral line.
Oh no, the Corrosive Bile takes out so many of the Banelings.
But hang on, Kwame, where's the defense?
Yeah, I'm wondering what...
Oh, it's Reapers.
Yeah, the Reapers are going to try to do it. Battle Cruisers are inside of the main, but here come the Reapers. They have the +2 yet? No, just plus... Yo, it is +2 indeed. And that is all she wrote.
Waterloo going to take a decisive 3-0 victory over their opponents here. And move on to the semifinals, so congrats to them.
Wow, what a day of StarCraft, you know. That's when you just kind of lie down and say, that's enough StarCrafting for today. You know?
You learned a lot of cool new strategies today. Go home, try them out on the ladder. Probably work just as well as you saw them work here today.
Oh, of course. Definitely.
But that is going to do it for our broadcast tonight, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Tempo, for joining me for this.
No problem.
And we'll be back next Tuesday with our next round of 4 match. Thank you to Twitch for sponsoring it. And take care.
Bye-bye.